Today I want to talk to you about braid to fluorocarbon knots. So there's a ton of different knots that you can use for connecting your braided line to your fluorocarbon line. The one I've been using the most is a Uni to Uni knot, but there's a ton of other options out there. So I don't consider myself an expert whatsoever in tying braid to fluorocarbon knots. I personally know I could be better about it. I've been wanting to dabble with the FG knot because it's supposed to be a little bit thinner and a lot stronger than a lot of the other knots that are out there. I haven't done enough research. I couldn't even explain to you how to tie it right now. What I want to do with this is give you options. I want to put in links to different videos that I've found on YouTube that you can view and get more information on these knots. So whenever braid to fluorocarbon knots gets brought up, people always want to know, why are you even doing that? Why can't I just use straight fluorocarbon? Well, you can use straight fluorocarbon, but what I've found is that using straight fluorocarbon, I end up getting a lot of line twist, and I end up having to change that fluorocarbon out a lot. My personal opinion with having braid as your main line is that braid's more sensitive than the fluorocarbon is. So having that braid main line, you're going to feel a little bit more than you would with having fluorocarbon as your main line. It's going to last a lot longer. You're going to end up dealing with a lot less line twist, and it's going to save you money because you're not having to replace that fluorocarbon as often. So the theory behind having the braid to the fluorocarbon leader is that you're still getting the benefits of the fluorocarbon by it not being as visible, by having that leader. I've tried a few different things. I've tried short leaders, I've tried really long leaders, and what I've found is the best is having basically a leader that when you're casting on a spinning rod, your finger is holding that knot as you cast it. So you're not casting it through the spool, it is casting through the guides, but it's not being reeled up on your spool and then you're casting it out. Because I have found with certain braids, you end up, either damaging your braid, or the knot that's created by the fluorocarbon and braid together ends up catching the braid on the spool, and then you end up having problems. So what I end up doing is I end up having probably about 7, maybe 10 feet of fluorocarbon that's connected to my braided line, and then I tie my drop shot or whatever finesse bait, Ned rig that I'm going to be fishing onto the other end of my fluorocarbon, and then I cast it out and do my thing. So the first knot that I'm going to talk about is the FG knot. I've heard a lot of good things about the FG knot. However, I've heard that it's very difficult and takes a long time for you to actually tie. I did find a YouTube video that says that it's a really easy way to tie the FG knot. That FG knot video link will be in the description of this. So if you're interested in wanting to watch that one, go ahead and click on that link in the description of this. The next knot that I'm going to talk about is the one that I've been using for a long time. I've been using it for years, and it is the Uni to Uni knot. And it's basically two knots. They get pulled together and they pull against each other, and that's where the strength comes from. That's how you end up being able to tie it and have both of your lines connected. I've had good success with it on lighter lines, but when I try to tie heavier braid to a heavier fluorocarbon leader, I have found that I've had issues and that knot broke. So in my opinion, the Uni to Uni knot works well on lighter lines, but you might want to find something better than the Uni to Uni if you're going to be tying, let's just say 30-pound braid to 12 or 10-pound fluorocarbon. I've tried doing it with the Uni to Uni knot, and I haven't had good success. I have had the knot break on numerous occasions. So another option to try braid to fluorocarbon is the Albright knot. I don't have a lot of experience tying the Albright knot, but it is another option for you. Check out the video that I have linked in the description. Watch the videos. You can also just search on YouTube all these different knots that I've decided and watch numerous videos. Maybe you'll find one that you like better than the one that I have linked, but these will give you a good starting point to tying the braid to fluorocarbon. Now, it doesn't just have to be braid to fluorocarbon. You can do braid to mono, you can do braid to braid, you can do whatever you want. It's just basically tying two separate pieces of line together to make one complete line. So if you wanted to tie braid to mono because you wanted that mono at the end of your braid for, let's say, a topwater, because some guys will throw topwater baits and they go straight braid and that braid ends up going around the hooks, and people say that if you tie a mono leader to that braid, then you don't have that same issue. You can sometimes get away with the fluorocarbon leader even on the topwater, but I would recommend just going with the mono because the braid and the mono both float, where fluorocarbon doesn't. So if you have that fluorocarbon at the end of your leader and you put too much fluorocarbon and that line starts to sink, you're not going to get the right action out of your topwater bait. So my hope in making this is to not be your line tying expert, because I'm not. I wanted to give you guys some options on different knots that you can use to attach braid and fluorocarbon together and provide you with some resources for you to get the information that you were looking for. Make sure to go into the description down below and check out the links that I have in there for you. It's going to give you a lot of information about the knots. Try them out with your own fishing. Figure out which one you think works the best for you. If this video helped you and pushing you in the right direction, please like it, please share it, please put a comment. All that stuff really helps the video get seen more, so I would really appreciate it. Also, please subscribe to my channel. I'm really trying to grow this channel. I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. So if you're new and you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I'd really appreciate it. Throw some comments down below. I'll interact with you. If you guys have any questions, shoot them down in the comments, and I'd be more than happy to answer them. Thanks for watching.